Hello, hello, and welcome back, everybody, to the goddamn premiere douchebag show about nothing, hosted by two friends that are just shooting the shit and
Just
talking all that
shooting the
shit.
breeze.
Goddamn right. I, of course, am your slightly inebriated host, Trav, joined as always by the pheromone secreting giant man known as the Vanilla Gorilla, Mr. Joey Fats. How are you, sir? It's been a couple of weeks.
It has, and it's been a couple of wild weeks. Obviously, I was on vacation, 2 weeks ago, and then last week I couldn't make it because our flight home got canceled, and
Yes.
we didn't get home until like 6:30, 7 o'clock on Monday night,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
What
just deceased.
it? You know, I as much as I now I'm not as well traveled as you and Lo are, but as much as I like it, it's the process that is the problem.
Oh,
Uh,
this was one of those processes that, like, in the moment, you're thinking like, if I never have to travel again, I'd be fine with it.
sure.
Like I might never go anywhere again. I might just, if it's not driving distance, fuck it. But it's only been a week, and I'm already like planning my next trip. Like I'm like Michael Scott. I'm ready to be hurt again.
Well, because
You know.
in it during the time where it's a huge pain in the ass, yeah, you're like cursing life itself. You want to punch the first person that looks at you, even in a nice way, probably right in
And
the
the
neck.
best part is so does everyone else. Like
Oh,
getting
you're
like,
all in this together.
oh, it's so funny, dude. Like so that's the first time I've ever had a flight canceled. I've been on flights that have been delayed,
Mm.
borderline almost canceled, but like didn't, but got off the ground and whatever, all's well that ended well. This is the first time I've ever been on a flight that was canceled, and let me tell you, it brings out like the absolute worst in humanity. Like I didn't really give a shit. I was like, whatever, dude. Like we'll book another fucking flight tomorrow. Like so what? We get home a day late. Yeah, it sucks, but whatever. But there were people going, I mean, ape shit fucking bonkers. Like, and I get it. Like some people had to work the next day.
Yes.
So like this is a really big issue. Me, I always build in a day or two so that I don't have to worry about that.
Oh
Like when,
yeah,
especially this time of year.
yeah, absolutely, and I try to do the same thing. Like if I'm going anywhere, or even if it's just a staycation or a quick weekend trip or something, I'm giving myself a day buffer in between going back to work and what have you, because it's like I don't want to have to go right back into it after coming home from traveling, unpacking.
Ah, hell no.
Uh, if I'm coming from the West Coast or somewhere across the central time zone. Okay,
Oh,
the
you're
jet
changing
lag's gonna
time
be
zones. That's a whole nother devil within itself.
yeah.
Like that sucks. Like that's like, okay, now you really got to build in some rest days when you get back just to get yourself acclimated again.
Yeah, at least the
But
last
like we
time
were
I
just
did.
coming from Florida, so like we were in the same time zone.
Right, yeah,
You
that's not
know,
a factor.
nothing really changes. But man, like when you see people start, especially when they like when you, the best part is when you get to, so we flew JetBlue, which was our first mistake. Um,
Yeah.
and when you get to like the counter after they cancel your flight and they're like, go to the JetBlue, whatever, uh, you know, customer service area, whatever, where you check in, where you would normally check in. Uh, and there's people there and they're like, oh, and they'll rebook you and like help you with your rebooking and all this other stuff. And they basically tell you, like, you get there and they're like, yeah, we don't have anything. And you're like, what do you mean you don't have anything? They're like, we have nothing. And you're like, what do you mean you have nothing? There's got to be a flight out. They're like, yeah, but there isn't.
Ooh,
And you're
yeah.
like, and then people are like, so then they finally, like, they rebook us. Like we get an email like right then and there, like they rebook us the next day. But instead of our flight going into Providence, like, yeah, it's going to Manchester, New Hampshire, if that's cool with you. And I'm like, no,
How is
that's
that?
not fucking cool. My
How is
car
that
is in
better?
Providence. Like, how the fuck am I going to get from Manchester to Providence
It'd be.
and then get
I
my
mean,
car?
it'd already be bad if they said, "Oh, Manchester," and you parked at Logan. Okay,
Yeah,
that sucks.
that sucks,
It,
but that's at least like a little bit more tolerable because you're like, it's only like an hour and a half. Get
it's
an Uber,
somewhat.
whatever.
It's not out of the realm of reason. It's still fucking shitty, but
It is.
no. That how does that help me? Like
Yeah.
you might as well send me on a biplane to Nantucket and then fly into New Bedford, and then I'll go get my fucking car in Providence somehow. Like,
No shit. It's like, can't I just get on a private jet and just go somewhere? Like, just, like you said, get me to the vineyard and I'll figure it out from there.
yeah.
Like, I don't care if Amelia Earhart's fucking flying the plane. Like,
I mean, kind of the last person you'd want flying.
yeah. No, give me Denzel from that movie where he's shit faced. That's fine.
Yeah, and he flies it upside down.
Yeah, flying 747s upside down, 737s upside down, which is like,
which makes sense.
I mean, it actually happened though, which is kind of crazy. So,
that's why it makes sense.
Yeah, you're like, fuck, like, goddamn, not my flight. I don't even think my flight simulator would let me do that, even if I wanted to. But no, it's funny how like canceled flights just bring out like dude. I swear to God, like if that's a sneak peek into what like the apocalypse is going to look like, we are fucked.
Oh,
because people lose their fucking.
It will absolutely degrade to that. 100% it would.
They say you're only 4 missed meals away from total anarchy, and let me tell you, total anarchy would be if that was like just like mild inconvenience anarchy, total anarchy is going to be fucking bedlam.
Oh, people will be literally resorting to cannibalism within probably like a couple days. Like,
they're like, we had to eat them, but you have all this food right there. They're like, what about those Pop-Tarts? Those are cherry.
God damn it.
Can't have those. What the hell's wrong with you, man?
Well, as a side note, I just noticed your shirt. We did not plan this, folks. We're both wearing Die Hard themed Christmas.
Are you wearing one too?
Yeah. Come out to the coast. We'll get together.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I see it now. Okay. Yeah. That's fucking awesome.
I just read the top of I saw Nakatomi Plaza on yours. I'm like, holy shit, we did not plan this ahead.
Yeah, I got the Nakatomi Christmas Party 1988, vintage T-shirt on. It's
Hell
not vintage at all. I bought it off eBay like 2 years ago, but yeah.
Well, look how fucking adorable we are. Once again.
I mean, are we just not the fucking cutest?
It's...
I mean, who can hate us? Honestly, who? Nobody. That's who.
Gay fags.
Yeah, gay fags. The gayest of the fags.
And speaking of gay fags, and those who kind of coined that term, let's get into the nitty gritty here, Joey.
Yes.
South Park season finale. I too am going to refer to it as just one season. They can classify it as two.
Yeah, it's one.
It was one cohesive thing, for better or worse.
Yep.
And now it's done. And, we had our predictions. We both stated what we'd like to see come out of it. They definitely lost steam in the middle of all of it. And then it seemed like, okay, there was a couple here and there that had some glimmers of hope. It's like, okay, all right, that was funny. I like what they're... Okay, they seem to be steering the ship correctly now.
Yep, you're like, okay, and the whole time we're watching the season unfold, we're still sitting here going like, it's still Matt and Trey, this is still South Park, like it's never let me down. I have no reason to believe it's gonna let me down, so I'm gonna ride with it and I'm gonna roll and I'm gonna trust that they are going to do whatever it is they need to do to make this season, like you said. It's one season. I'm not doing the whole 2-season thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure that'll be a great trivia question 10 years from now, but I'm not partaking in it for this at this particular moment. Yeah, you kind of just kept going with it, thinking like, okay, like, yep, this is Matt and Trey. Like we have the utmost faith in them. They've never let us down. They've never done anything that's even what I would consider mediocre. Everything they've always done has been at worst like an A level, if not A+ level comedy. So
yeah, I can agree with that. Sure.
There was like, I don't even think I can like look at a South Park episode and be like A- on that one. Like, I guess if I'm like really splitting hairs, like the the Great Expectations Pip episode, I guess I would have to give like an A- because it was a Pip episode, but that's it. But I like that.
And that's going back too quite a bit.
That's season 2 or 1.
Yeah,
like that's way back.
1
or 2, I can't remember exactly. But you get my point. Like to go back and find an episode that was just like, it was okay. I've yet up until this season, I have never seen an episode. I've never walked away from an episode thinking, it was just okay. They've all been great. I mean, and that's a testament to Matt and Trey and how great they are and everything that they do. And I want to say before, and I'm going to preface this, like everybody who's listened to this show, this podcast over the last year and a half now, almost year and a half, whatever, a little over a year that we've been doing it.
Yeah, just over a year.
They know that when, especially with South Park and everything else, like when it comes to this kind of stuff, we have no problem with who they make fun of, how they make fun of them, and this is. So I'm going to preface this by saying this had nothing to do with the Trump, Vance, Satan, butt baby, like basically pretty much just going after, like, I mean, they just took a season and just kind of went hard in the paint after Republicans.
Yeah,
which is fine. And I would normally have no problem with that. But this was without a doubt the worst season of this show. Easily. And I think it's one that if we could just dissolve and forget it ever even happened would probably be for the better. And it has nothing to do with who they made fun of. I know all the, fucking lib fags out there like, oh, you're just mad because they were making fun of your boy. Like, no, I actually don't give a shit. Like, they made fun of Trump for years prior to this.
Well, the way they did it with Garrison as being like the proxy was actually funny. Like, that was good. I laughed my ass off every time.
Absolutely. And I still go back and watch those episodes and love them.
But this was, I mean, we've already said it so many times as we've been reviewing the season as it aired. They went for the low-hanging fruit. They literally just reskinned Saddam Hussein as Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Without that being like a twist at all. It just, nope, it's Saddam Hussein, but Donald Trump's face instead. Oh, he's fucking Satan again. Oh, they're going to have a butt baby. And here's, at least the J.D. Vance stuff was funny. I like how they portrayed him.
I think J.D. Vance was probably like the one continuous character
funny thing
throughout this season that I actually enjoyed.
The one mainstay that at least as soon as he was introduced, every time he was on screen, something funny happened.
Yeah.
Even if it was just his dialogue, they portrayed him as Tattoo from Fantasy Island, which is hilarious. Like, I am boss, like,
yeah,
that was good.
Hey,
that was the one redeemable thing out of it, besides the very end of this last episode, which we'll get to when we get to it.
Yep.
But yeah, I completely agree. This was a huge letdown. I might revisit a couple here and there, but I highly doubt that
honestly,
I'm gonna.
Trav, I can honestly say that the only episode. I think the only episode that I found legitimately rewatchable through this whole season was the Charlie Kirk one, where Cartman was the master debater, and he was Charlie Kirk. Like, but I also subsequently think like, I think that episode airing, the week before Charlie Kirk was killed, 6 days before Charlie Kirk got killed or whatever it was. I also think that was where the season came apart because I don't think I think they did that episode and I think they were on to something. And then I think Charlie Kirk's death steered the show in a way that they didn't expect to have to go for one reason or another.
There was a shift, and whether it had to do with I don't know if they had anything else planned for Cartman basically being Charlie Kirk going forward. But they took the week off. The week that happened.
I feel like we didn't even really see Cartman for the rest of the season after that either. Like,
no, I mean we did, but
sparingly.
Not to how you'd like to. I mean, he did. No, well, I mean the 6-7 stuff.
Oh yeah, the 6-7.
And then he's possessed. So I mean, it's
and he gets kidnapped by Peter Thiel and all that. But it's just like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like there was just something about like I kept waiting for them to for the other shoe to drop, so to speak. Like I kept waiting for the punchline in this season and it never came. Like if their goal in this whole season was to just rip on Trump and Republicans and even still, like I didn't even find like what they were doing was that funny. Like when I thought it was going to be funnier when like Jesus ripped his sleeves off and became a total bro Christian.
And they only revisit it at the very end in this of the season, and he had a couple funny moments during it, but then okay, it's all wrapped up in a nice little bow at the end.
Yep. And like I guess what's her name? I think who they were trying to rip on at the end there. God dang it. What the hell was her name?
quick shout out to Kelsey. Thank you for watching. Hello.
Hello, welcome. God damn it, who's the Republican? She got the fake boobs and she's all done up and God dang it,
Bobert?
no, not Bober. She's not a politician. She's like a fucking
Influencer or just
yeah.
social media commentator.
I can't remember who it was. I looked her up the other day because I thought like was it not Laura Ingraham. God damn it. Anyway, I can't think of her name.
Mm-hmm.
I mean I'd heard her name. I have no idea who she is or what she does. But I think she's just a Republican commentator. Like no, she was an ambassador to is she the ambassador to Greece? Hold on, let me look it up. Because this is going to piss me off.
You're referencing the character that Jesus was dating.
Correct.
While being a one legit line that did make.
Oh yeah, Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Oh okay.
So if you look at Kimberly Guilfoyle,
yeah, I don't know who I'm gonna.
Yeah, you if you like, I know her name, but if you look at her, like she basically fits the, you know, she got the white pearl necklace, the Botox lips, the Botox face, the fake tits.
She kind of looks a little. I mean. She looks more like what they were making fun of Kristi Noem for with the more work done on the face.
Correct. Right, Kristi Noem doesn't look that drastic.
No, she doesn't. And Kristi Noem's probably older than her. Or maybe close to it.
So,
not that Kristi Noem's old, but...
my whole thing with this season, and again, like, we kept saying it, I kept saying it, I think it was episode, like, 3 or 4, where I said, this is either going to be the greatest season they've ever done, or it is going to be a huge fucking disappointment. And unfortunately...
It went the latter.
It went the latter, and it was just a massive disappointment. There was no real, like you said, there's really no episodes that were worth going back and watching and having any kind of, like, rewatchability. You know, standalone rewatchability.
Hold on. Lost you there for a second, bud. Let me get you back.
Saddam... Satan butt baby thing that just went nowhere, and then the fucking way they end it was I was like, I could not fucking believe what I was watching. The way they ended it, I was like Jimmy Kimmel's writers wrote this. Like there's no way in hell Matt and Trey had anything to do with this season, because it was the laziest, lowest hanging fucking cop out I have ever seen in any show. Like, this made the season finale of The Sopranos look like, you know, like it should be in the Louvre. Like, the butt baby hanging itself and being Jeffrey Epstein. And they're like, oh, the butt baby hung itself. Yeah, and you can see, here's the footage, and there's about 3 minutes missing there. It's all black. But then you see the baby hanging itself. You're like,
yeah.
Really? That's what they fucking went with? Like, I'm like, all right.
Which ties into current, what's going on now. So it made sense for the joke, but it just...
But it landed...
They literally took the cheap way out, because they painted themselves into a corner with this whole thing, and I honestly think they had no other course of action. They're like, how are we going to actually have this make sense?
Well, here's the thing. Out of this one?
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't have to make sense. We use this as an excuse, essentially. We use the Epstein thing as an excuse. It's like, whoopsie, everything is inconsequential, guys. Guess what? Everything that this season was building up towards doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Right.
Not whatsoever. Which leads me to the very end of it, where Jesus reforms. The one thing that I did laugh in that episode, or the previous one, was when they're like, oh, what's with Jesus now? He's like, oh yeah, he's all Christian now. I'm like, okay, that's funny, because
there was definitely some good, like, little one-liner zingers in there. But I think, like, the whole, like, just going hard in the paint after one side, like, they went after the Trump administration like their lives depended on it.
Yes.
It was almost like they got paid $1 billion and then were told what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Which we suspected could have been the case, because, like we said, $1 billion is enough to buy anybody, even Matt and Trey, which is disappointing, but also a fact of life. So
I just hope it's not a sign of trouble with, on their end with complacency now that they've made another $1.5 billion.
I mean, I don't
So-
think it was. I hope it's not. I just hope it's not the direction, like, because, like, again, if I wanted to watch like shitty fucking Trump fucking Satan jokes, like, I just go watch Jimmy Kimmel. You know what I mean? If I don't want to laugh, I can. There's a million shows I can watch. I
Yeah.
come to South Park because I want to laugh, and unfortunately, this season they just. I feel like they just missed the mark so bad. And I don't know if they had a personal beef with Trump and the FCC and his administration, or
Well, they definitely did, at least for a little while, because they made that whole episode regarding it, which was actually probably the only good one worth rewatching because of the whole Looney Tunes vibe to it.
that one, yeah, right. Where like Trump's just trying to like set Satan up to get the baby killed, and the FCC guy just keeps walking into everything on inadvertently.
That one was
That
Pretty
one
well.
actually did make me
Pretty well
laugh.
done.
I did enjoy that episode.
overall
because-
as a standalone. I would probably watch that one again. The rest of them,
Yep, I could definitely rewatch that one because it had, like you said, it had some Looney Tunes vibes to it. It was very funny, but this whole season was just, in my opinion, it was just ass. It wasn't good. Like I can get on board with making fun of Trump and Vance and Republican and all
Yes.
that just as much as anybody.
Yeah, make fun of everything. That's what comedy
But
is.
But it also, this season felt very one-sided.
No,
You know,
Absolutely.
which is not a South Park trait. They're usually a very equal opportunist hater, if you will. And then it just wasn't good. It was like the same tired shit that we've heard for the last 5 to 10 years. Like,
and they're
like-
better than that. We know that they're
Yeah,
better than
like,
that. They've
what are you
proven
guys
that
doing?
they don't have to rely on that shit. They did seasons during Trump's first term, and they handled that brilliantly, in my opinion. Especially looking
mean,
back on it now.
oh my
in
God, the
comparison, it's like night and day.
making Garrison Trump and then telling everybody that he was going to fuck all the immigrants to death
Yeah,
was unbelievably fucking funny. And then the member berries and that whole arc and PC principal and
yeah.
everything else, like that shit was fucking gold. That was world class A+ comedy.
And also, I mean, it's kind of weird too because they never named Garrison. They referred to him as the president and President Garrison.
Right.
Obviously, he's supposed to be mimicking Trump, but they never explain why he's doing that. Oh, nor do they address it. They're just like, "Oh, this is Mr. Garrison now," and
Right.
for some reason he's getting the fake spray tan. He's getting
Well, because I think it started like he was like in a bar or something like that, and like
it's Where My Country Gone is where it started.
right, and everybody sounded like Chuck Mangione,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets pissed off at the Canadians and all that. He's like, "You goddamn Canucks."
Yeah.
Um,
Going off the Niagara Falls, and then
yeah, and then he just they think he dies, but he
Dude,
ends up
one of the best
remember
lines
when
ever. He goes off, and they're like, he's dead."
yeah, they just leave.
Yeah.
But like, do you remember like when he goes into Canada, gets over the wall, or he goes in over the falls, he gets into Canada,
Mhm.
and the safety dance is playing, and he goes up, and there's like the Canadian Trump,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And he's like, "Hey, yeah, what are you doing?" Like, and he's just doing like the safety dance. And it's wicked funny.
Yep.
But like, I don't like that was fucking great. And then Trump assumes that identity. I mean, Garrison assumes that identity, and goes on to become like Trump Garrison, which was fucking hilarious.
Mhm. But they never
And it
had
was
to.
great for like 3 seasons.
I mean,
like,
it's blatant what they were doing, but they never fully addressed it like verbally. You know what I
Right.
mean? I don't think any of the characters ever said, "Oh, why are you dressing like Donald Trump?" Like they never even mentioned Donald Trump's name,
right.
as far as I know, during that run.
No, they just made fun of, but like they made fun of Fox News and the whites
Yeah.
and PC principal and like the PC babies. Like there was so many funny things that happened throughout those
because
seasons.
again, they were balancing it out. They were making fun of Trump by way of Garrison. They were making fun of PC people by way of PC principal.
Right.
They were spreading it pretty evenly.
Yeah,
on
this
both
season
sides.
this season felt like there was no balance to it. And again, and like I hate and like I can't, and what pisses me off the most is that I can't criticize this season for being as bad as it is, because all people are gonna do is just say like, "Oh, you're just mad because they were making fun of fucking Trump, you fucking snowflake, bro. Oh, what's the matter, bro? You're a snowflake."
No, if they did it right, I'd be laughing my ass off.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
problem is
Which
they
is-
literally just reskinned Saddam Hussein's character, right down to the point where he's in a gay relationship with Satan,
Yep.
and that's Trump now. Like, oh, that's what we had. If they had,
Which still didn't even make sense.
if they portrayed him, Trump, differently, and he's still this ridiculous asshole, just leave the whole Satan thing out and have him not use the same exact voice they used for Saddam Hussein. Like, keep the flappy head with the actual photos, because that's funny.
Those
like
are
that.
funny because the facial expressions they used for like
yeah.
Trump was
Like his
those were
mugshot
really
in some of
fucking
them,
funny.
and like, it's great.
Yeah,
That's-
the mean mugshot face was fucking hilarious.
At least change.
My
the
wife
way,
pointed that one out. She was like, "Oh, that's the mugshot." I was like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, good catch."
At least just don't do the literal same exact voice and shtick of Saddam Hussein, which is well established.
And
So,
not for nothing either, but like
do something else with it.
was this season just like an apology to like leftists? Like, because that's what I feel like. It was like
It
they
kind
had
of
to
feels
give,
like that at the end of it.
they had to just like give like the lefties something to like be like, "Oh, South Park is so back," and you're like, "No, South Park never left, you dumb fuck." But
No,
like,
I think it could be in jeopardy of being gone if they don't, figure this shit out, which would lead me to the very ending of the episode and season
Yep.
subsequently. Oh yeah, well, oh shit, we didn't even get to the we got a little bit more to talk about. The complete and utter disrespect and misusage of the Christmas critters.
dude, that
You're-
was like bringing back Kyle too, where it was like they had no idea what the fuck to do. We got to produce something. Let's bring back some funny characters from the past, give everybody a little taste of nostalgia, and then do fucking nothing with them.
And it's just before Christmas, so it's like, okay, it's thematic, like time, like, okay, I'm
Right.
here. We haven't seen them in years. They were hilarious back then, but just because of how violent and crazy they are. Yeah, all right, I'm in. They might fucking stick the landing here with the season finale. And what
Mhm.
do they become? Just talking set pieces to Stan. They have their typical one-liners,
Yep.
which is basically just seemed all recycled shit other than the current things that they were talking about, but it was just cut and paste otherwise. A couple of like the stinger opener like thing. Oh, now back to the Christmas critter or South Park, and it's like the Christmas critters drop thing, and then the squirrel says something. It's like, okay, and they don't do anything else. They don't kill anybody. They don't serve a purpose in the end.
Right.
And it's like, well, why did they even put them in this episode in the first place, other than the fact that it's airing, a couple weeks before Christmas?
Right. Which it didn't. They didn't do. So there was no. Like Stan learning how to give abortions. No callback to anything that the Christmas critters did except that just like, oh, they're bad.
Yeah.
You like, oh no, like, and Stan's like, no, what the fuck? And they're like, oh, well, we're here because the Antichrist. And then all of a sudden, like, Stan's supposed to be on like the side of the Antichrist. Like, I'm like, what? I'm like, none of it made any fucking sense. And that's what I think pisses me off is that South Park usually has like some nuance to it where like, yeah, you got to kind of pay attention and know what they're talking about to fully understand the joke. But I've been watching this show for almost 30 years. I've never never watched an episode and been like, I don't get it. This whole season was mostly just like, I don't get it. What are we doing here? Like,
I get it. The thing is, there's not much to get because all the threads that were connecting all the things that, happened at least more than once during the season, like whether it be all the Trump shit, which was overly pervasive, to like, Mr.
honestly,
Mackey.
it was too much. It was too much because the problem with the Trump Satan Vance thing was that story arc superseded every other character in the show. Like,
yes.
I don't want to see South Park just go make fun of Trump. No, make fun of Trump all you want. That's fine.
But make it
But
funny
do it-
and also
but do it in a
some
way
other
that
shit.
features the characters of the show that that are supposed to be in it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it just this season got so fucked. And again, we knew it. I could tell. Like the first episode, I thought I'm like, okay, that was really fucking funny. They did pretty good. Like they made Satan Saddam Saddam and Trump and Satan that's funny. And I was like, okay, this season could have some teeth. Then the second episode happened, and I'm like, all right, I'll see where this is going. I think by the third episode was when my dad was basically like, I'm all set with it. And that's when I had to like convince my dad, like, no, trust me, like it's Matt and Trey. They always have a
They've never
you know,
failed me before.
they always have a head fake. Like they make you think it's going one way, and then they boom, all of a sudden it's like bang, there's the joke. That never happened in this season.
Well,
It was
they
basically
think
like they just
think
took.
it did. It didn't work though.
I would love to know what they think of this season. Like, I would love to hear like the commentary on this and be like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I've been watching this show since I was in 7th fucking grade, and I've never once walked away from an episode being like, that was mediocre until this year. Like, and it has nothing to do with the like, again, it has nothing to do with the content and who they made fun of, which again is all people are going to sit there and accuse you of saying. They're like, oh, you're just mad because it was Trump. And I'm like, no, dude, like, it has nothing to do with
it
that.
Just wasn't that funny.
It just wasn't fucking good.
And we've both said this before. They're better than that. They are way funnier than that kind of Jimmy Kimmel type of, like, just bottom of the barrel type of humor.
Yeah, this was some. I mean, this was some straight fucking like Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon. You know, fucking what's his name with the stupid ear that got canceled. Colbert. Like this was like that level humor. Like this felt bought and paid for, and it was like, we just want you to go out and make fun of Trump because you're the only people that can anymore without getting sued or fired or whatever. Like, and it feels like they just got paid to do this season and just like go make fun of Trump. And that's all the only directive they were given. And we're withholding your paychecks until you do. Like,
and because you were vocal about that before earlier in the season.
Yeah.
And I was the one being like, hey, I definitely agree with you, but I was still remaining optimistic. And then they toyed with my emotions by having some bad episodes, and then some shining rays of light here and there. Like, okay, all right, maybe they're gonna figure this out. And then I'm psyched for the finale. Like, all right, let's see how they pull this off, or if they do it all, and they didn't.
You know when I knew, and it wasn't when I looked at the final episode, because I was on vacation when it came out, and I was like, oh, I'll watch it on the flight home, or I'll watch it at some point. I looked it up, and I saw it was only the usual running time of like 30 minutes or 28 minutes, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And immediately before I even talked to you, I was like, it's gonna suck.
Well, because how are they gonna tie all this shit together?
Exactly, because like there's no possible way for them to make all these storylines come together and make all this into one nice, neat little fucking season. In 30 minutes. It's just not possible.
No, well, they didn't tie up everything. I mean, they tried. Like, they bring Mackie back, and he's like, oh, yeah, you know, because I did lose my job. And then I think he just basically says, oh, yeah, and then I just left ICE because I didn't like how they were doing things. And now he's, like, got no money, and Trump is ringing the bell as a Salvation Army Santa Claus. And they go, well, Merry Christmas. Ding, 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 ding. Like, that's it.
That was it. And you're like, wait, what? You're like, that didn't even fucking, like... No, because that was the other thing. Like, we never saw like Mackie's adventures with ICE after that. Like, we never got like the Kristi Noem shooting the dog shit was funny as fuck.
Yes,
but again, that was like taken wildly out of context because, as everything is, you know, as is most things, like it's taken out of context. It's like she's like, yeah, I had to put a dog down. Like, it was a working dog. It wasn't a pet. It was a working dog. Like, people don't understand when you live on fucking ranches and farms. Like, not all dogs are pets to people. Like. And if the dog is killing your livestock, aka like your chickens and the shit that makes you money and shit like that, like, and it can't be trained, it's like, yeah, there's no home, there's nowhere to fucking get this thing rehomed. You don't just take it and be like, oh, it's a great pet, but it, you know, likes to kill chickens and bite toddlers. Like,
yeah,
nope.
I love dogs more than people, honestly.
Same.
And I'm still 100% on board for that mentality because you got to do what you got to do in that situation. It's
correct. So like I understood why
family pet.
I get it. Like why? Like I get because I've known people that have grown up on farms and lived on farms and
yes, absolutely, yeah,
and heard those stories before where they're like, yeah, we had to put the dog down and started killing the chickens and we couldn't get it to do what we wanted it to do, so we just had to put it down. Like, what do you mean put it down? Like you didn't just bring it? And they're like, nah, man, like we already got a pet dog. Like this is a working breed. Like
unless
this
you
is a
have a
working
giant tortoise, you're gonna outlive all your pets unless you get them very late in your life or like late enough.
Yeah, but people have such a soft spot for animals, and not to say I don't,
Yes.
but they don't understand that there are points in life, like there are animals that just are there to serve a purpose, and when that purpose is no longer, when they're not serving that purpose, sometimes the only way out of that is to put the dog down.
Yeah, or if they injure themselves in a way, like a horse breaks its leg. Okay, well that's pretty much it for that horse. Unfortunately,
That's a wrap.
Like it
Yeah,
can't
I mean,
support its weight.
We
with
all
a br-
we
that-
all saw
like-
what happened to Barbaro. But like, people don't but people just don't understand that. So like even though the Chrissy Gnome shooting the dog shit was funny in the show,
Mhm.
because she's shooting like cute little puppies,
Yeah,
not like not a working fucking like herding dog or something that some breed you've probably never even heard of. That's
because it's so ridiculous and absurd. That's what made it funny. It's like
Right.
she's just shooting indiscriminately at dogs, just like any
Right.
dog.
which is actually pretty fucking hilarious. But
Yes,
it was taken out of context again,
Mhm.
which I think that was kind of a lot of my problem too with this season, is that the shit they were making fun of Trump and the Republicans for would have been funny, but I felt like they were just running with the headline, not the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, it was like, it's like when the New York Times like put out that story about Brian Sicknick being bludgeoned to death on January 6th with a fire extinguisher.
Mhm.
And then they retract it 28 hours later, and they're like, actually, that wasn't the case. He died of natural causes 3 days later.
Yes.
And but nobody knows that because the original story got 150,000 shares.
Yeah, in only a few days, and
only
that's
in
still
a
the
matter of
narrative of
hours.
people on the far left. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
he died."
and then the when they recant it, and they're like, "Oop, nope, sorry, that got like 500."
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, well, yeah, of course that's not going to go as far, because I mean, there was a point where even like, I remember even my brother, like I was talking to my brother this a couple of years ago now, and I'm like, I'm sick of fucking people talking about like the Brian Sicknick thing and how he got, like nobody died on January 6th except Ashley Babbitt.
Yeah.
And my brother's like, what about that cop that got hit with the fire extinguisher? And I'm like, no, you fucking idiot. I'm like, that was what? And I'm like, I got wicked pissed at him. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you didn't know that was fake? And he's like, no. And I like show him the shit, and he's just like, oh, dude. He's like, I don't know. How am I supposed to keep up with all this shit? I'm like, believe nothing of what you read, first of all.
Well, if you're gonna say I can't, how am I expected to keep up with all this? Then don't make a comment about anything current.
Right, but then again, but he was making it to me. It's not like he was like making it on Facebook and like stating an opinion as a as if it was a fact or something along those lines
during conversation.
He was just during conversation. He was like, oh, he's like, no, I thought they actually killed that dude, and I'm like, no, that was wildly untrue. Just like the same fucking the suckers and losers, the fine people on both sides, like like I had to show somebody Trump's actual statement in a video.
Yeah, not
when they were like,
oh,
he said there were very fine people on both sides. I'm like, you've never seen the full video, have you? And they're like, what are you talking about? And I pulled the full video, and because I had to go get it on Rumble because YouTube had removed it because they were censoring everything because it's still when Biden was in office.
Yep.
You know what their answer to me was? Oh, that's edited. Rumble? What the fuck is a Rumble? That's yeah, okay. Go find it on. Let me find it on a reputable source, and then maybe I'll believe it. I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm showing you the unedited original video.
Yeah, there's no jump cuts like the clip that you saw. Like,
yeah. I'm like, and they're like, what the fuck's a Rumble, bro? Like, seriously, Rumble? What's that, like Fox News? And I'm like, no, it's an alternative to YouTube that doesn't censor people. Like, yeah, okay. And it's just like you get the eye roll and the dismissive eye roll, and they're like, fucking Trumpers, bro, fucking maggots, fucking MAGA people, fucking fuck you. And I'm like, all right, never mind, you're a fucking clown.
Yeah,
like,
and
I just tell them that.
They're on Twitter at the time, and that was the biggest liberal echo chamber next to Reddit.
You're right.
At the time.
So, I think going back to South Park, like I think a lot of my beef with this season was that a lot of their shit was the initially ill reported misleading headlines that they ran with as if they were like the truth, and then they used that as like their springboard for all their jokes. So I'm like, okay, like all right, I can get on board with you making fun of Trump, but like make fun of Trump for something he's actually doing. Like make fun of Trump for something that he's actually doing that's fucked up or not or funny or whatever.
Well,
Like,
they kind of did with like the West Wing thing, but
but then again, they really did it because they're like, again, they portrayed it as it was like this big, expensive, extravagant thing that's being paid for by the taxpayers, and it's like, no, this is 100% privately funded.
and
No one's paying. No one's paying for this. No tax dollars are going to this.
It amounted to nothing because the way they handled it was like, oh, here it's being destroyed, and then as they show the White House, like, you know, in like wide shots in the show, it's still, you know, partially like
Under
demolished on
construction.
this side.
Yeah.
At least it looks accurate, like the layout wise.
Well, like,
somewhat.
but even still, like, okay, so they're building a ballroom at the White House with privately funded
But
money.
that was it, and they
Who
they
cares?
show it visually, but they don't mention it again, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and then they kind of allude to, like, you know, like Satan being like, I thought we were building a nursery, and he's like, what? Nah, relax, guy. Like,
Yeah.
which really had no, like, which was stupid too, like, because I'm like, that's not funny, like that. I don't know. I just feel like this was like a love letter to the left
Certainly
from
feels that
South
way.
Park.
Mhm.
Because they were just like, we're sorry we've been ripping on you guys for the last 2 decades because you're absolutely fucking retarded. But like, and they had to do something to like get some people back on their side on that side, because the only people that like everybody I've seen that's like, this season was great, oh my god, this South Park is so awesome, it's all like your typical fucking retarded lefties that have no sense of humor and no ability to do anything. They're just like, they're like, oh, Orange Man, bad. Let me bark like a seal, or like.
That's what it was for the most part. I think you're completely right in that theory. It does feel like a love letter to the left, almost like a, hey guys, you know, hey look, we're making fun of Trump the same way you do. Aren't we relatable?
It was like, look, guys, like, we can make fun of Trump too. Like,
well, you already did, and it was done better than what they did here. They really dumbed it down. And that brings me to the ending, I think. So basically Stan the Satan's butt baby
yep,
ends up killing itself in utero. Very anticlimactic. I mean, the images of like the ultrasound is kind of funny, especially when they put the chair in, and at the end I got a little bit of a laugh out of that, but I immediately got mad again. I was like, oh, wait, that's how they're ending it? So,
yeah,
Jesus.
that was like my Sopranos moment. I'm like, wait, what? Like, that's it? Like, we get Journey and the daughter, like, curbing the shit out of tires because you can't parallel park?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end?
Yep.
Like,
well, and Satan packs up his stuff and leaves the White House as Trump is partying, celebrating the death of the baby, effectively.
Right.
He's handing out cigars and shit, and he's super stoked. And
which
Satan
is which is funny because that's a very liberal thing to do, not a conservative thing. Like,
yes, it is. And Satan just leaves, like nobody even notices him leaving the White House, really. And then Jesus shows up to Stan. Oh, he helps Stan get his house back, his family's house. So this is all foreshadowing, I think. And then Jesus says to him, as he's speaking to him like Mufasa in the stars, fucking says like, no, look, I'm always going to be here, and I'm sorry that I wronged you. And, you know, things are going to get back to the way they should be. I think that was Matt and Trey directly speaking to the audience. At least I'm hoping I right. And them saying, hey, we fucked up this season. We know. Look, Stan's back in his house with his family.
right.
Hopefully we, you know, that's them saying that they're going to be like, okay, we're going to get back to the basics. Or at least the fundamentals, which is basically the same thing. So
you would hope
redundant.
at this point, like you would hope, because
it remains to be seen.
And who knows when?
Good thing I'm taking out of the finale.
And I have to wonder too, like, are they working on a special? Right? You know, were they working on a special, and then they got, you know, then the season came up, and they had to do that, and they had a plan, but they couldn't. You know, I don't know. I think Charlie Kirk's murder really threw the whole season off.
Yeah, because
I think it was going one way, and then I think they were forced to take a massive detour, and I don't think they were prepared for it. And
yeah, but they didn't tone it down on just focusing on Republicans, because that's
no,
exactly
they didn't,
what
and that
they
was
kind of doubled down on it.
Yeah, that was the other thing I feel like kind of was like, again, like I'm all for making fun of Republicans when it's warranted. Like Republicans do dumb shit all the time. Like, in fact, they're doing dumb shit right now as we speak. But don't fucking sit here and just like sell me 10 episodes of Trump's fucking Satan, and then JD Vance and Trump end up being like lovers, and then Towley comes out like they're gonna wash the cum out of Towley, and then he tells Satan the whole plan, and then the baby Epstein's itself. Like none of that shit made sense. None of it was funny.
Well,
It
Towley telling Satan about that did, because Towley was shown in the background while Vance and Trump were doing all their shit.
But like you would love,
yeah.
you would love to have seen more of like Towley's perspective of that, right? Like
Yeah, I think it was like 2, maybe 3 scenes where Trump and Vance have conversations and sex.
Yep.
Where Towley is visibly in the background and observing is aware of what's going on. But
right, but he can't talk because he's paralyzed from all the cum.
Yeah.
Which like, okay, like that was funny.
Yeah, he had to be washed.
You know what I mean? But like, at the same time though, I'm like, that like, but they did nothing with it. Like there was so much more to be done with that story arc that didn't come to fruition.
And
I'm like,
did
they run out of time? Did they run out of episodes? Like,
I think.
Were they just mailing it in because they were like, fuck this season, let's just get this shit over with as fast as we can and get the fuck out of here?
I think by the time after the Kirk assassination, they were scrambling to figure out where they're gonna go, and I feel like that's why they went the route of making fun of Trump the way they did continuously, and because they were pulling punches with it. It's like, no, you guys can be funnier about this, but you're taking that easy joke, that lazy one,
and that's the thing. Like that's what pissed me off. It was just lazy.
I feel like maybe they were like, okay, well that just happened to Charlie Kirk, but we're still gonna make fun of Trump a shitload, but we're not gonna make it too. It's gonna be very cartoonishy and just literally copy paste Saddam Hussein
and just wicked over the top, like.
And then here's all this other stuff that can be interesting if they, write it properly.
I mean, like, dude, we didn't think about it.
Peter Thiel didn't pay off ultimately.
We didn't get a single fucking Diddy reference. No Diddy episodes.
No, like he was shown in the trailer for the
season.
But then again, that's a trailer. They can make that probably in like a couple hours, and
that would have been like fucking
essentially concept work.
Yeah, and I mean, the trailer showed when Butters is like the air traffic controller and all the planes are colliding, and like all this shit
that never happened.
And then the Diddy episode, and like you're thinking like, oh, this is gonna be fun, and then all we get is 10 episodes of Trump as Saddam Hussein, fucking JD Vance and Satan, like.
Yeah, and if Trump wasn't involved, then it was another conservative figurehead.
Yeah, exactly.
Of some part. But Trump was probably in every episode at least once.
Absolutely, he was. He was featured in all 10 of them.
Yep. Yeah.
At least in one way, shape, or form, he was in every single one of them. He had lines in every single episode, if I'm not mistaken.
Or at least just appeared one way or another.
Because I'm trying to think of any episode he didn't come in, but he was in. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, of course they're gonna have him say something. So yeah,
right.
You're probably
he was
right.
in almost all of them, and then again, but then the finale, the end, I don't know. It's just Christians now. Christians now are just, they're just fucking bros who beat their Botox wives. And you're like, huh? Like, where is that coming from? Like, what bubble are you living in out in California that's the case? Like, that's the other thing that makes me wonder is are they just so out of touch with reality at this point that they've surrounded themselves with California liberals that that's how they write now, and it's that's what they see as the mainstream truth. And I'm like, all right, that would have been funny for an episode, but not as a continuing fucking overarching story arc for the whole season.
Or maybe a few episodes. Maybe they do how they did with Imagination Land in that season. Like, oh, this is in the middle of the season, or wherever it was, episodic wise. But
Right.
it's 3 self-contained episodes within the season itself, and it's
Right.
its own little narrative, and it all works. And then by the time it ends, and they pick up where they left off with the rest of the shit, it's right back to business as usual. Like, they don't even have to acknowledge it.
Right.
Maybe in passing here and there as like a callback, but even then it would be few and far between.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. I don't know what happened with this season. All I know is that it was without a doubt the single worst season of this show that has ever existed. It's a throwaway, and I can honestly say I will probably never watch an episode of it again from this season. I mean, there's 26 seasons prior to this that are just far superior. I feel almost no will or want to go back and watch any of 27 or 28, if you will.
Okay, yeah.
Ever again. I just there was no, like I said, there was nothing that was like, oh, I got to go back and watch that one again. That was funny.
On the whole, it's pretty irredeemable. Like,
I mean, I've never given this show an F in my life, and this was an F- as a season.
If I could give it 0 stars, I would.
Yep, but they make me give it 1.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was bad, dude. Like, I mean, especially with all the shit that was going on that like could have been like way funnier. Like, you could have done like the Venezuelan drug boats getting blown up, but instead you just do like the whole Pete Hegseth thing, and it's like, the Top Gun shit. And it's like, Pete Hegseth is a fucking douche, and you're like, okay, like that's fine. I guess that's fine. But
it was
like,
kind of funny, that part.
it didn't, but again, it didn't exist in any. There was no reality to it, and I think that's what was missing from this season. Is that South Park usually makes fun of stuff that's reality. Like they take something that's real, they satirize it, and they make it wicked fucking funny and easily relatable through animation.
Mm-hmm.
This season, everything they made fun of, nothing they made fun of was like factual or correct. It was all just tabloid, headlines and bullshit and stuff that we knew. Like, okay, like, all right, like, yeah, you're making fun of Chrissy Nolan for shooting dogs. Okay, little out of context, but still funny. ICE, like, oh, they're just going and just scooping up random people. Like, there are plenty of Latinos in heaven, and then they're rolling into heaven, and you're like, that was kind of funny. Like, okay, that had some that was fun. But they're just taking the extreme liberal side of things, and maybe that's what they were doing. Maybe they were just trying to show, like, through this, that like this is how liberals view the world. And this is how ridiculous liberals see everything.
Well, you could put that spin on it, sure, and maybe they'll use that as a defense and be like, "No, yeah, we were actually making fun of the left the whole time because isn't that stupid?"
Yeah, I feel like I'm bailing them out on that because, again, like,
you might be, but I can also see that argument being made and being like, "Okay, if it's presented it right, like, I might buy it." But I'd have to hear it from them, and they'd have to do a goddamn good job.
Yeah, they're like, no, we wanted to show this season was like we wanted to show how the Trump administration was viewed from the the mainstream left, if you will.
And that's if they try to decide to spin it that way. They haven't said anything regarding it yet, as far as I'm concerned, since the finale, of them trying to like justify it one way or another. But I don't think they've been asked about see that happening. It's like Tommy Wiseau, the movie The Room.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, it was always supposed to be a comedy. I knew it was so fucking... It's like, no, you didn't. You thought you were doing something profound, and it's fucking hilarious unintentionally.
Right.
And then when you try to do comedy, it's terrible, because
you're not a fucking comedian.
You're naturally funny for who you are, but that doesn't make you funny, like, when you try to do comedy. You're funny because you're this weird foreigner.
Right.
It's that kind of mentality, I think, perhaps. But, I mean, time will tell. Hey, this season was a turkey. It had its head in the oven in the halfway through it, pretty much, and then uh,
It just
the deed
it
was
just
done.
fell flat, dude. Like just I can't sit here and I don't want to beleaguer the point too much because obviously I've said how I felt, but I've never been disappointed by this show in my life. Even my wife hated it. She thought it was terrible. And like I said, like even like unless it comes out as like they were like, no, this was like actually like just we were just trying to we were making fun of the lefties and like this is how they view the world. You're like, all right, well, you maybe could have made that a little more evident, throughout, but then
They would then
again,
say, "Oh, wasn't it obvious? Look how fucking stupid the entire season was
yeah,
because of it."
but nah, it wasn't obvious. That's the thing, and I feel like I would have picked up on that earlier if that had been the case.
Yeah, no, because South Park is one of those shows where they'll break the fourth wall
Yeah,
and directly address, like, deliberately state what the joke they are making is. They would have done that here at the end. Uh,
absolutely.
that's why I feel the very end might be out of actual sincerity, where they're like, "Yeah,
Sorry, we fucked this up.
we fucked it up. Hey, look, we're bringing things old shit back. Like, hopefully, that can convince you guys that we haven't completely sold out."
Because like I'm always down for a good Christmas Critters Christmas episode.
Yeah,
Whether they come back through, doesn't matter how they come back, as long as they're in the episode, it's usually going to be fucking great.
yeah, and they explain why they're back here now. Like,
Yeah,
it's
well,
like,
I
you
kind
don't
of had a
actually
feeling.
exist.
I kind of had a feeling they were going to come back at the end towards Christmas. Like I think I said it to my wife when we were on our way to Florida. I was like, I bet you the Christmas Critters pop up in this one because their whole thing was like to bring the Antichrist.
hmm
You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, Peter Thiel, the Antichrist, Satan's baby,
And
the
in
butt
this
baby.
case, they
It kind
helped
of
Stan learn how to do an abortion before, and in this one, no, they don't want to do that because it's
yeah,
gonna birth they're like, no. So
right.
thematically, at least
Oh, it
that
doesn't
part
matter
made
as
sense.
long as we got Stanny on our side, we're okay.
Yeah. So thematically, at least for the characters, that part made sense, but they didn't do anything with them the rest of
It
the time. They were just there
no,
talking. They didn't actually do anything.
it
Uh,
sucked. I'll just say that it
it was a
sucked. I'm
waste.
sorry. It was. I've never ever said this about a South Park episode, let alone an entire season. It fucking sucked.
Well, you
It
can
missed the mark. They whiffed.
you don't bring those characters back very often, and when you do, you got to make sure you're using them properly. And they
Correct.
completely fumbled the bag with that.
I
Uh,
guess. I guess we should be so fortunate to say that and again, I'm only going to call it 27 seasons. Of 27 seasons of this show, we've only been able to sit here and say like there's only 10 bad episodes
and they're
in the
all in
entire
one
thing.
season.
And they were all just happen to be in this one season. Like you can watch episode 1 through season 1 through 26, phenomenal all the way through.
More or
Every
less.
single one of them, bangers. Like never misses. And then this season just total dog shit. So,
Because at least even if you didn't like a full episode from any of the previous seasons, there was still like segments that you were like, okay, yeah, that was genuinely good.
yeah, or at least like, the season on the whole might not have been your favorite, but there was 3 or 4 episodes that you're like, "Oh, that was good."
Sure.
Like you didn't have to like the whole season, but the Guitar Hero episode was fucking great, or the WoW episode was great.
Because that was back when it was still. They might have had some kind of an overarching narrative, somewhat, mostly just callbacks. But they
Even
were all
still, they very
they were
rarely did
self-contained.
callbacks. They rarely did callbacks until like later. I mean, it was like I want to say like season 15ish was when they started to do like every once in a while. Like the earliest callback I can think of is when Cartman when the boys go knock on Cartman's door and they're like, "Oh, can Cartman come out and play?" And I think it was the pubes episode. And Mrs. Cartman is like, "Oh no, sorry." She's like, "Sorry, boys." She's like, "Eric's he's still grounded from trying to exterminate the Jews 2 weeks ago."
Right. Okay.
When he went to see the Passion and then like tried to rally everybody to
The
like,
Passion.
and like yeah, and like that was it, but that was like one of the earliest callbacks I can remember the show having. And because other than that, every
might be
episode
right.
started fresh. Like they just didn't do that. Like they wouldn't call back to other episodes because like to them calling back to other episodes was like a crutch. You know, like, oh, we didn't have anything, so remember this joke from 2 years ago? Like,
Well, I mean, aside from the established things that are canonical, like Cartman's an asshole. He's been a dick to Butters as well, but Butters can also be a dick to everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, but that's not like actual like plot. That's just characters and like
correct.
the lore.
And like the same thing with like like 200 and 201. You know, when it goes back to, when Scott Tenorman comes back, or Mitch Connor becomes is a regular, like, or he became like a reoccurring callback kind of character. There's been other ones in there, that have happened, but like it wasn't until like they very rarely, if ever, did that until later, like in the later seasons, and it was only because it made sense and it added to whatever they were doing at the time.
Yeah, and I'd say like like Mitch Connor and like Scott, like that's kind of more recurring than a callback. I mean, it's also a callback, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, at the time it was a callback, but now it's become recurring.
The callback is just like a brief reference, like a one-liner about something, whereas a recurrent, okay, well, the character's back and it means something. I will go as far to say the Christmas Critters in this episode was a fucking callback and not an actual recurring thing, because
I would agree 100%, because they didn't do anything.
Completely inconsequential. They were just there.
Like they didn't even say the names. Like the fact that like Chickadee the Chickadee is probably one of my favorite fucking like stupid one-off characters of any show ever. Like I remember like drawing it in my notebook one time in school, in like college, and my wife was like going through my notebook and she found my drawing of Chickadee the Chickadee, and she fucking pissed her fucking pants. Was like, what the fuck is that?
What are you doing in class?
Obviously not paying attention.
Hard at work.
That's why, it's like it's like I always say, baby, 2.0. That's all I need. Just get me out of here. Like, give me a 2.0, get me the fuck out the door. C's get degrees, baby. So I would draw, and like my wife lost her fucking mind laughing. I still have that notebook somewhere, because my little like sketch of Chickadee the Chickadee was one of the funniest fucking things I think I've ever drawn. Like just this stupid little fucking bird. But it was my wife. I think that was probably top 5 hardest times I've ever heard my wife laugh. It was when she saw that drawing. Like she just couldn't stop. She was like, what the fuck is that? Like she had never seen the episode either. She just thought I was just drawing some fucking random fucking bird, and I suck at drawing, so it was even funnier. But
it looked like Happy Gilmore's drawing of a blue duck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because he just really wanted to see a blue duck.
Yeah. And so like so that was pretty much it, like for me, like, but that was like the thing, like they didn't even go through like, it was like Deary the deer and Barry the bear and Chickadee the Chickadee. Like they didn't do any of that. They didn't do anything with the Christmas Critters other than like if you were watching this show for the first time, if like this is the first season you'd ever seen, because like all your liberal friends were like, they're ripping on Trump, you gotta see it, and then like you get to this episode and it's like there's the Christmas Critters, and you're like, who the fuck are they?
Yeah, and other than
and you don't even know they're called the Christmas Critters. You're like, what the fuck are these satanic animals?
Other than the call cards that they did with them to like come back from a commercial or go into a commercial, the way they handled the Christmas Critters was like, hey, they're here now.
Yeah.
And now they're just standing behind Stan, and they're talking. They have dialogue, but none of it is going to mean anything, ultimately. This whole season doesn't mean anything, ultimately.
No, it didn't. And
I mean, they really did flush... The season died with the butt baby when it killed itself.
I mean...
Allegedly.
I think the season was dead long before. I think this season was kind of... I think this season died with Charlie Kirk, in my opinion.
I can agree with you on that. And
because at least the first 2 episodes we had, we were like, oh, this... Now, maybe it wasn't. Maybe this is the way it was going the whole time. But at least we can pinpoint that as like... That was the like the moment where it seemed like shit started to kind of go off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, all right, maybe, and again, that's us giving them the benefit of the doubt because we're like, all right, well, they don't ever suck this bad at anything. Like nothing. I mean, I've watched every single thing, you know, I think from what Orgasmatron to, Orgasmo to,
Well, Cannibal the Musical was before that.
all right, Cannibal the Musical, Orgasmo.
Mhm.
So I guess Cannibal the Musical is the only thing I haven't seen by Matt and Trey.
Oh, it's great.
But like I went to the PPAC to see fucking Book of Mormon. It was
Right.
great. Like I've seen everything they've ever done. It's all been phenomenal. Like they everything they always touch turned to gold until for whatever reason this season they just decided to go, like we said, after the low hanging fruit. And I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say Charlie Kirk getting killed threw the whole season off. It threw the vibe off. But again, I don't understand the rhyme and the reason of why they just kept deciding to go like, after like the tits out conservative Botox women.
Well,
Like,
that's the thing. After the Kirk incident, they didn't pivot in the way that they should have. They still leaned into making fun of strictly the right, pretty much, and not having any nuance or like variation. And they went the lazy way with the jokes too. It's one thing if they were gonna stick in that direction and double down on it and make it funny, but they didn't. So it. What a waste! Like
it really was. It was just, to me, this is the biggest waste of 10 episodes ever. It had potential,
easily.
could have been funny, but this was like Walking Dead levels of just waste.
Like I'm only watching it because I'm, a devoted fan,
Well,
and
that's exactly it.
and
Like,
I'll gladly try and hear them out and see what they come up with next.
oh, absolutely. The next thing they come out with, I'll be the first one in line to be watching it. Don't get me wrong. Like,
But
I will be
it's
I will be sitting there when the next special comes out. Like, that will be appointment TV for me. Like
yes.
I will not take overtime that night. I will come home and I will watch it on a Wednesday. Whenever it comes out. But that's not to say that this season didn't just fall flat on its face and suck absolute dick.
It absolutely did. I don't know what else to say about it.
Because
In
even if they
general,
do try to portray it as like, oh well, we were just trying to view it through the lens of like a retarded liberal, I'm like,
yeah,
okay, but
I
that
think
you
that's
still could have made it funnier. Still could have been funnier.
If they were to come out and say that, which I doubt they'll say anything about this season until like probably
Next year.
after, like maybe a few years
next
from
summer,
now,
maybe.
if at all.
I mean, someone's gonna ask him about it. They're gonna do an interview. They have press, they have press obligations, but
that would be complete backpedaling on their end and just trying to spin it and that. Oh well, actually, it was commentary on how the left are so fucking stupid. And it's like you didn't make it seem that way at all. Like
no, I think
because
and
again
to me,
they will break the fourth wall and be like, "See, isn't this like?" In a
I just
very
hope
sarcastic way, they didn't. There was no hint of that whatsoever. They didn't even explicitly do it.
No, and I hope, honestly, I hope they just come out and be like, yeah, we thought we had a plan for this season. The wheels came off the bus early, and we really had nothing. We were just throwing shit at the wall and hoping it would stick, and nothing stuck.
That's why I think that at the very end, that's them.
I would rather
saying,
them
hey,
just own it and be like, yeah, it sucked. Sorry, our bad.
I think the very end of that episode is as close as we're gonna hear to them addressing it anytime soon.
And I think Trav, I think you're onto something with that. I really do, because they do put little Easter eggs in episodes like that where like they are directly talking to you. They've done it before. I hope that's the case just for the show's sake, because I don't want to see this show go down. Like, I don't want to have 26 phenomenal fucking years of this show only for the last, whatever, 5 or 6 to be fucking, just bought and paid for liberal Jimmy Kimmel-esque fucking humor.
Yeah, if you want to see them end whenever they decide to do it on a high note, like you don't want to be like, oh, they had so many good seasons and then man, it really puttered out at the end. They lost their identity essentially. I mean, it's like the Simpsons. The Simpsons lost that identity a long time ago.
I
At
said
this
The
point.
Simpsons lost that probably 20 years ago at this
Yeah,
point. You
easy,
know, like,
over
I
20
mean,
probably.
at least the last 10 to 15.
I
You know, like
couldn't tell you that
When Hank Azaria was like, I'm so sorry for doing a poo all
that was
these
even less
years.
than 10 years ago at this point.
Right. It's like, dude, what? Like, shut up. Like, why are you apologizing for something that was super funny?
You're an
Like,
actor portraying a character.
and not
It's
only
the same
that, but you
reason
were
people
portraying a
getting mad
funny
at.
character, and it was stereotypical, but stereotypes come from somewhere.
They're all
They're
based on
factual.
truths.
Yeah.
It-
Like, get over it. Like, who cares? Like, oh, I'm so sorry. But it's like,
And the thing is,
But we
Pooh
went-
was a
but-
very successful. Like he was at. Yeah, he owned the business. He was also very smart. They established that.
yep.
They didn't. He was a stereotype, but not really a negative one.
No. But you know how it was, you know, I think we've come out of that period now. But like, you know, we can use this kind of transition into kind of like what's going on right now in the real world.
Sure.
I think we've come out of that, like, oh, it's offensive and you can't say that and you can't do that anymore because we're a new type of America now. Like, we're a new brand of people. Now, there are still the people out there who will have suicidal levels of empathy, and they will not give a shit about what happens to them, their family, their bloodlines, this country, anything. And we're seeing it in Minnesota big time right now with the fraud that's going on over there.
Yeah.
And all the Somalian pirates. You know, we're seeing it over there, but I think we've officially exited that, like, oh, it's not okay to say retard or faggot anymore. Like
Yes,
it's
it
still it's still like, okay, it's still like it's still not like, you know, it's still an insult. But like, when I
Yes.
call you a retard, I'm not disparaging, you know, people with mental handicaps. Those
No.
people, like, those people are cool. Like, I have no problem with that. Like,
Most
that's
of them
not-
are harder workers than your average liberal.
yeah, like, we're not. I think we're to the point now where we're like, okay, we're not dumbing down our speech and we're not dumbing down everything just so that you fucking idiots won't be offended anymore. Like, if you're offended by something like that, it's either because you're just trying too hard to be, you know, a good person, which, if that's how you define yourself as a good person, like, more power to you, like, rotten hell.
Yep.
But also, like, we're not gonna sit here and fucking dumb our speech down and dumb our shit down so that you're not offended. Like, either raise your level of awareness and raise your level of, like, you know, of common sense and what is actually being said, and be able to, you know, process context, or get the fuck off the tracks because you're gonna get run over. Like,
Absolutely.
and I'm
Like,
done apologizing to you people. Like, I don't give a flying fuck. Like, we had one of our friends that, like, he blocked and unfriended me on Facebook because I called, you know, one of his teacher's kids a retard. And I was like, well, they were saying retarded shit.
It-
And he's like, well, but you can't use that word. I'm like, well, if the fucking shoe fits, bro, guess what?
I mean,
like-
I can and I will.
Yeah, and guess
you
what?
don't have to
And
like it. I
yeah,
don't like
and
a lot of things you say either, but you don't
and-
hear me fucking bitching about it.
And
Jesus
the
Christ.
bottom line is, I'll say it to you in person, to your face.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just sitting here on Facebook saying it. Like, I'll call you a fucking retard right to your fucking face in Stop and Shop if I need to. Like, I don't give a shit, dude. Like, if the
pretty
like
fun,
I said,
isn't
if the
it?
fucking shoe fits, wear it. And I'm all set. Like, I'm just done. And I think a lot of people are done editing themselves and censoring themselves in order to, you know, not offend the overly sensitive and the overly empathetic. Because those people are fucking pussies for the most part. Like,
Yes.
what are they gonna do?
And I'll say I think I agree with you on that, and I'll say it this way: the pendulum is swung on what has been, you know, recently over the last decade, semi censored, either publicly or on social media, and now we can say it again, and
Mhm.
we're just like you, unapologetic about it, because hey, we're gonna call a spade a spade. If you say something fucking retarded, we're gonna call you a retard. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I'll call you a fucking moron, an idiot. Like, there's tons of other words I'll use.
Ignoramus.
But if I so happen to choose retard, then you have to live with it. Like, that's and you don't have to fucking like me for it. I'm not asking you if I'm calling you a fucking retard. I'm probably not asking you to go out to get beers with me. So what's your fucking problem? You know what I mean? Fucking take it on the chin, hold the L, and get moving.
Yeah, I don't want to
Fucking
be
retard.
around you either, in case you didn't notice by
Yeah.
me calling you a fucking retard.
Right, exactly. Like, this is me telling you, like, I don't want to associate with you. You know, like, I called a girl I used to work with an absolute fucking retard through direct message on Instagram because she posted some disparaging shit about Charlie Kirk and about how basically he got what he had coming.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, you're a fucking retard. And she's like, takes one to know one. And I was like, yeah, now die in a fire. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, I didn't say that to her, but I was like, I'm all set with you.
Mhm.
Like, see you later. Like, I hadn't talked to her in a long time anyway, but I was like, purge. And again, like, I went through my whole purge thing. Like, you know, I still got my list of people that I remember, like, looked at what they said and how they treated the Charlie Kirk incident and what they said about it. Because that was, to me, very telling about a lot of people. And, you know, people tried to, like, you know, they tried to gotcha game me and be like, oh, well, you said you were rooting for cancer when Biden got cancer. And I was like, no, I was just rooting for Biden's cancer, not cancer in general.
Right.
Like, I don't want everybody to have cancer, but I wish all the bad things would happen to Biden and only Biden. That'd be great.
Couldn't happen
Then
to
no
a
one
better
else would
guy.
have no one else would have to fucking withstand that. Like,
Well, yeah, and another example of that would be Rob Reiner.
yeah,
He got
Oh.
his throat slit by his son. He was
Yeah.
a raging liberal. He also directed some of my favorite movies.
yeah.
I'm not celebrating. What happened to him is truly awful. I don't wish that upon anybody. Well, pedophiles, of course, but I didn't want that to happen to him. That's truly awful.
I don't want that to happen to anybody,
And
but
by his
also
own son too. Like,
I'm
it's
not
fucked
going to
up.
shed a single tear for Rob Reiner because he is a grade A fucking piece of shit human being, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The way that he just tried to force himself and force his will on people over the years, and you know, he's one of those just self-righteous fucking assholes that I can't
Oh
stand.
yeah, I'm not saying I like
not
him
saying
as
he
a
deserved
person.
to die for it, but yeah, like, I'm also not going to shed a tear for him.
Exactly. Yeah, and it might be fucked up, but I thought of the South Park episode when
Same.
It
My
happened.
goo.
my precious goo, and yeah, he ended up getting stabbed. Well, sit there for a second, brother. Where are you? Joey! Joey! Come back to me. You son of a bitch. No, there we go.
Okay.
Got you back.
All right, there we go.
But yeah, I thought of that, like, not immediately, but after I heard, like,
What?
how it happened, I was like,
First thing I thought of. The first thing I thought of was the South Park episode, and I was like, yeah, this guy is a fucking, excuse me, bless me, an asshole. Like, I could never, like, I just remember Rob Reiner just being like, you know, the whole thing was like the smoking thing. That was the episode,
yeah,
the butt episode, and I remember like the fact that Cartman was like, wait, so he just like tries to make people like bend the knee to his will, like, that's awesome. And I'm
Mhm.
like, yeah. And then you go back and listen to him, and like, you know, everybody's like, oh, you know, he never did anything bad or say anything bad, whatever. And it's like, you go back to July 13th of 2024, and he's like, damn, why do you have to turn his head? Hope the next guy has better aim or something.
no,
like
exactly. He said plenty of bad shit.
I'm like, fuck this guy, bro. Like, you want me to shed a tear for this fat piece of shit? Fuck you.
And that's what I was getting at. Like, yeah, I'm not.
When he gets murdered in cold blood, like, I'm not saying he deserved to die. That's not it at all. Nobody does. Like, that
Especially
should
in
not
that
be
manner.
up to the person that murdered you. But
yeah,
then again, his fucking whack job, liberal fucking moron, probably fucking transgender kid. You know, I mean, who knows? Like,
the only things I like about him were some of the movies he directed, and that's about it.
he had a few bangers in there for sure.
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride, and then there was a couple other ones, right? When
Stand
Harry
by
Met
Me.
Sally.
He did Stand by Me. Harry Met Sally, which I'm still not old enough to relate to, even though
Yeah,
I'm
no
older than
shit.
both of the actors. That
There
were-
was one. There was one that he did that I actually really liked. Spinal Tap.
Oh yes, yeah. This is Spinal Tap. Yep.
Yeah, that was.
And
that was good.
he was funny as Meathead in All in the Family. I give credit where credit's due, but as a person, I do really like him.
Whatever.
But
As
again,
a person, I could take him or leave him. Like I said, I'm not going out for fucking beers with him, so I don't really give a shit. But
I'm not celebrating what happened. I think it's horrific what happened to him.
But the problem is I think that we've gotten into such like everything has become, and this dawned on me with the whole Charlie Kirk thing, is that we've gotten into such a toxic relationship with each other online, where people don't feel like they need to censor themselves or say anything. They can say whatever they want on social media.
Oh, but we can't say fag retard or whatever.
No, but what I'm saying is when people, all the people that were celebrating Charlie Kirk, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were like they were the ones that were saying they were like yeah, whatever, he had it coming. He was the one that said that if a few people have to die from guns, then so be it, blah 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 blah.
Right.
And they were taking everything wildly out of context, and we went over it ad nauseum back in September.
Mm-hmm.
But then I looked back and somebody called me out. They're like, "Oh, you're rooting for cancer, for Biden," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I was only saying that because I was saying it in response to, and granted, it was almost a year later, but it was in my response to all the people that were lamenting the guy who missed Trump,
yes,
and didn't kill him. Do I actually care if Biden gets cancer? No, no, Biden's gonna die someday or whatever. It doesn't matter. The way he dies or how he dies or when he dies really doesn't matter. The damage is already done from him. But when I say that, I say it to be inflammatory.
Yeah, it's a
towards
response
the left
to them saying that about Trump
because this is
because
all the shit you guys said about Trump over the last. I mean, not even just Trump almost getting assassinated twice, but all the shit you said about him over the years. That was meant to be inflammatory. But the bottom line is the day Joe Biden dies, I might pop a bottle. I don't fucking care. I fucking hate that guy probably more than anybody because I've hated him long before he was even a VP.
Oh, dude, Dick Cheney just recently passed away. People celebrated that.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
I didn't like Dick Cheney either, but I didn't
hold
celebrate it. I was just like, he died.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. I just gotta piss. Wicked bad.
I got you, bro. But yeah, Cheney died. I wasn't a fan of him. I hated George W. Bush. That whole administration, essentially. But, yeah, Cheney just recently died, last month, or maybe early this month. I did not celebrate it. I wasn't like, oh, good. It just happened. Same way, Biden's going to go eventually. So I'm with Joey on that one, too. In terms of now granted, I wouldn't wish cancer upon anybody, but I mean, he's gonna go eventually from something. It sucks that it's that. My mom passed from cancer. I've lost other family members to it and friends. It's not cool. But that being said, Joe Biden's a very old, decrepit man, so it's not like anything taking him out, falling down a flight of stairs. Should be surprising. It shouldn't be. But that's what we're getting at here, folks. Is here at the adult table we care. At the end of the day, we do. For our country and for all of our citizens, all you fine folks watching right now, this is what it's all about. Joe is coming back.
Okay, sorry. I was sitting here playing squeezy dick with myself. I'm like, I am never going to be able to make it to the end of this show.
Running the old pinch and roll.
Oh, my God, that was so bad. After a Celsius and however many ounces this thing fucking holds of vodka soda.
Oh, that looks like it's probably at least like a 22 ouncer.
I think it's a 24, actually.
Yeah, maybe.
You used to say it on the bottom. Anyway, but my point of this whole thing was that, I think we've gotten into, we've engaged, or at least for myself, I started engaging in the pissing match, no pun intended, of like, oh, you can say some fucked up shit. Well, I can say some fucked up shit. And then you keep trying to out fucked up shit one another. And then when something serious like Charlie Kirk happens, people will use like the shit that you said, like kind of tongue in cheek, as ammo to be like, well, you said this about, Biden and cancer. And it's like, yeah, but that's not even remotely on the same plane of like, I'm not celebrating Biden's death.
Yeah.
I not to say I won't, but I'm not right now. Like, or at least I wouldn't do it publicly on Facebook, or I wouldn't go on New Bedford Guide and with my name out there be like, well, that fucking loser, he fucking got what he deserved. Fuck him.
Especially in that manner too, because yes, somebody passing from a disease like cancer or anything else like that, or in an accident, it's not cool.
It's one thing when they're fucking 36 years old and it's like some rare form of aggressive cancer. It's a whole nother thing when there's some 88-year-old pedophile piece of shit.
The Crypt Keeper, essentially.
Yeah.
And another, a 31-year-old man being shot in front of in public. Like, it's
in front of millions of people.
You cannot compare the two things.
No, you can't.
In terms
but this is the liberal mind at work, is that they can, and immediately that's what they'll do. Like, not that they need any real reason to dismiss you anyway, because of who you voted for or what side of the aisle you fall on. But like the problem is that the problem I had with most people that were like, well, Charlie Kirk got what he deserved. He got what he preached it. And he ended up getting what he deserved because of it, or whatever. He practiced what he preached, or whatever, however you want to put it. They were taking, again, like everything else, out of context. They didn't actually listen to what Charlie Kirk said. They didn't actually understand it. And then on top of that, too, like, I was not I think we talked about this. I was not a big Charlie Kirk guy.
Same.
In
I
terms of
followed him, but I was never huge on him. But
I wasn't watching every single one of his things. I was like, okay, like, yeah, he's going on college campuses and he's owning fucking dumb 19-year-olds. Like,
I like the cut of his jib overall, and he was very Christian. I'm agnostic, but that didn't bother me because
I call myself Christian would be a stretch at this point.
But that never bothered me because values wise, I was like, all right, he's a pretty intelligent guy.
Yeah, he was an articulate, well-spoken, intelligent individual who made points that were, he didn't do it in like an offensive "fuck you" kind of way.
And also, he was more of a, yes, he was conservative. He was a moderate conservative. Like,
in the grand scheme of things, yeah, he was very moderate.
That was a big part of the episode we did on him after it happened. We both made it a point to state that, like, you and I say far worse things than he does. And there's other people that are, much more popular and famous and successful than you and I that say far worse things than he does.
Absolutely.
In terms of being a conservative. So that could potentially mean if he can be taken out like that, then any of us can.
Well, and that's my point. And that was my thing, too, was like, okay, like, well, if you are happy Charlie Kirk is dead because of his beliefs and the things that he preached and believed in,
then you'd be dancing on my grave.
Just thrilled as if I was shot too. So, and people are like, well, no, that's different. No, it's not.
No,
like,
how is it different?
That's not. That's the problem. Is that it's not. Your true colors are being exposed, and you don't like it because you didn't think this through at all. But at the end of the day, you think the world would be a better place if people like Charlie Kirk and myself and you did not exist. And that if everybody thought like you, the world would be a better place. Granted, you're wrong. And I think, the USSR would prove that right. But nonetheless, your attitude towards it was more telling to how you feel personally about me.
Yeah.
Than and now that and you won't say any of this shit while I'm here to defend myself. But if I was shot and killed, you would have mountains of things to say.
Yeah, and how you had it coming to you because of what you said. And
because you're never going to have to run into me again. So that's where my problem with the libs is and this whole thing. But, like, I feel like we got caught in, like, this whole, like, pissing match of like who can go lower. And I don't think that was very productive. So it's like, yeah, like I can say some, I can say, I wouldn't even say fucked up shit about Biden, but like, because I don't think it's fucked up at all. Like, I'm like, no, fuck that guy. Like, don't care. The
Fair
day he
play.
dies will be a good day, honestly. And I have my own personal reasons for that. Like, I don't expect anybody else to share them or care or whatever. That's why I don't really go out there and just say it every single chance I get.
No, that's why they're your personal feelings on the matter.
Exactly. Those closest to me know how I feel, and that's all that matters. But my point is that like getting involved with like with the libs and like trying to like see who can go lower. I really don't think it became unproductive really quickly. Because I can say some fucked up, repugnant shit probably better than most people. Like, you and I have an ability to say things that most people wouldn't even think to say because our brains just automatically go to like that, that dark humor, that dark area.
Yes.
And we see the world through a lens of, I mean, I don't know about you, but I see the world through the lens of cynicism almost on a daily basis. Like, I don't believe 99.9% of the shit that somebody says to me until they prove it. So the way I get after things, the way I do things is I can go lower than you. Don't worry. Like, as low as you think you can go, I can always go lower. Like,
yes,
if
you
this
and
was
I.
the hunt, if this was the hunt for Red October, I am scraping the bottom, baby.
Hell yeah. You and I both have friends that we've known forever, within our own circles, that if we're out in public and somebody outside of our circle says something that they know that either you or I, based on them knowing us the way they do, that they're going to be like, oh, they will give the look to you or me in that scenario and be like, oh, that person just fucked up. Like,
yeah. Oh, you have no idea.
You should have not have said that. Like,
yeah. I mean, and it happens all the time.
And then we're off to the races, baby.
And then it's all there from there. But I think the difference between you and I, and this is where I think like most people don't understand, is that like I have a very strict, hard and fast rule that if I wouldn't say it to your face, I will not say it on social media.
100 goddamn
whether it be
million%.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, it doesn't matter. I will 100% say whatever I want to say on any platform, and that includes in person. And that includes the threat of like me saying something that would want you to prompt you to punch me in the face.
Well,
because
in
honestly,
person is the only format that matters.
Yes,
because anybody can say anything online, anonymous or not.
I mean, I don't. If I had a nickel, Trav, for every single time somebody would mouth off to me online, and then I'd run into him in person, and I get the hey, bro, I'm sorry, man. Like, I was fucking drinking, dude. You know what I mean? I was in my emotions.
If you had a nickel for every time, you'd be perpetually on vacation because you'd be retired right now.
Yeah, I'd be retired, dude. Like, it happens so often, I can't even begin to tell you, because especially with like sports stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've had people like DM me, tell me that they're gonna fuck my wife and like all this other shit because
just based on sport. That's
because I'm like, I hate the Patriots. I'm like, okay, like, you're cool.
That's like, I just completely housed you in Call of Duty or whatever. Now you're angrily DMing me, like,
yeah,
on Xbox, like,
right. Like, I mean, it'd be one thing if like, like you told me I was gonna fuck your mom, or you told me you're gonna fuck my mom, and then like, I was like 17 years old, and like, you just came over and like, oh, this is my mom's, like, oh, this is my new boyfriend, and you just whispered in my ear like, I told you this day was coming, like, and like told me my username. I'd be like,
whisper,
fuck.
his own gamer tag, like,
and you're like, God damn it,
I told you this.
I told you this day was coming. That would be fucking funny, but most people don't have that ability to say shit. Don't have the ability to say the things that they want to say, which is another reason why I get a lot of people that come up to me and say like, dude, like, keep doing what you're doing, man. Like, I follow your post because you say the shit that I wish I could, and I can't for X, Y, and Z, or won't because they're afraid of, the repercussions or whatever it might be.
That's understand. I know plenty of people
that
totally lost
get
jobs
that.
because of things they said or who they're
Absolutely,
affiliated with.
Dude.
It's sad.
Absolutely, it is. But
it shouldn't be the case here in America, especially.
No, and again, and like especially going back to like the Charlie Kirk thing from September, like I
Yeah.
still fully stand on that. No one should be fired for anything that they said about Charlie Kirk. Like, I mean, except for like a few of the extreme cases where like you had like, like middle school teachers
Well, that's it. When it's people that are in
mocking the
their
death, like the
careers
assassination of a
are
guy,
supposed to
like
be educating children. I think I draw the line there too, because it's like, do we really want anybody on either
yeah, because
side
you know
of the
damn well
spectrum?
they're not keeping their politics out of the classroom.
Well, and same goes for if it was like a hardcore Republican teacher saying the opposite about somebody else, or the same about somebody else.
Yeah, right.
I'd
Like,
also be like, no, I don't want them educating kids in a public school. Like,
yeah, there's probably something better for you to do than spread your politics through
you shouldn't be
classrooms. But
bringing it's current events, but don't put your own spin. Don't indoctrinate.
correct,
Basically, is what it is. Just don't
right.
do that.
Leave the kids up to their own vices. Let their parents talk it out with them,
Yeah, present the
and
facts.
present the facts as they exist, and that's it. Do the old fucking Peter Jennings 60 Minutes. These are the facts as we know them. Like,
And it's not to say they can't express their opinion, but they should prefix that with, "Hey, this is just what I'm saying. I'm not saying you guys should believe. Like, here's just my take on it." And then, you know what I mean? It's all of what I'm about to say is in quotation marks. Take it for what it is, however you want to. And then use that and form your own opinions based on the facts that I also gave along with it. That
correct.
sort of thing.
Like, here's the facts. Form your own opinion.
Yeah, be
Simple as
objective, state your opinion, but also then don't be closed-minded on it out of the gate. Just like give a sprawling lecture, a rant of a goddamn thing, and be like, nope, this is the way it is, and if you disagree with me, I don't even know why you're here. Fuck you. I already got your money anyways. Fuck you. I got tenure. Like,
Yep. Right. Yeah. No shit. Right. But like, like we have the teachers, like, we always ride Jim, for being a teacher and being an asshole liberal. But like I said, like, I don't think Jim's necessarily a bad guy. I just think he's just got terrible opinions. And again, I don't know how much he conveys in the classroom or not. I haven't been in the classroom of his in over 20 years. So why would I wouldn't even begin to be able to speak on that. But, all I can say is that when you are a teacher and you are an educator of children, then yeah, like if you're going to hold, like if you want to hold police to this like insanely high standard of being like, well, no, you should let a criminal shoot you in the chest first before you draw your gun.
mm-hmm.
Because, that's what you signed up for, which I fucking hate.
Occupational hazard.
Yeah, I hate people that say that, and like I'm not a bootlicker by any stretch of the imagination. I will stand firmly on fuck the police. But
yeah, but you're right to disagree with them because what they're saying is literally insane. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, no, you should let the criminal shoot you before, and then what you have a bulletproof vest on anyway, so you'll just be able to bounce right back up. And there's that, like, bitch, that's not how any of this works. Like,
no,
but the people, like, these are the people that think that, that Derek Chauvin like should spend the rest of his life behind bars, like, like Mike Herron, when I got into a beef with him over it on Facebook a couple years ago, 5 years ago now, 6 years ago, and basically he like blocked and unfriended me and was like, fuck you. And I'm like, so what? I'm like, you think that the convicted felon with a rap sheet 10 miles long who's overdosing on fentanyl, that guy is innocent in all this, but the guy who was restraining him and then the 4 other cops that were just there doing their job, which was what they were told to do, which was crowd control.
Yep.
They all belong in jail for the rest of their lives. That's what you're saying. Like, he's like, yeah, they've been defending the blue. They defend themselves. They've been doing this for too long and getting away with too much shit for too long. And I'm like, listen, I have no problem going after crooked cops. We spent hours going over the Karen Reed shit. Yeah. All those guys those guys definitely belong in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's plenty more like that. And I mean, when you start just thinking like that's one little town in Massachusetts, what do you think's going on in Hicksville, fucking West Virginia? Like, think that shit ain't happening either. Like,
yeah,
come on,
where
dude.
it's such a small town or county or whatever where the sheriff or chief of police basically runs the goddamn show.
Correct.
From
And
top to
and don't get me
bottom.
wrong, like I've seen I know I know what they're like. Sometimes like people like I have cons that I've talked to that will sit there and they will swear up and down. They're like, I've done a lot of shit that should land me in prison for a long time. However, the thing that they got me on is the thing that they're claiming I did is not the thing that they got. Like that's not what I did. Like I've done a ton of shit, but the thing they're claiming that got me
The thing
is
that
not me.
they stuck me with isn't
Yeah,
the worst of what I've done.
or not even or it's not even me. Like in some
Yeah.
cases, and they're like, but I'm like, all right, well, like I kind of get that because like at some point, you're like, all right, we know this guy's a piece of shit. We know he's up to no fucking good, but we can't get anything on him. So then you get like the flimsiest little thing,
Mhm.
and then you take him and you fucking nail his ass to the fucking cross for it. Like, yeah, like, and honestly, like as someone who's worked in law enforcement, well, not out in the streets with the public, but like within the walls, if you will.
Yes.
I've done that to people before. Like, I know you're up to no good. I can't get you for the thing that I know that would like really fuck you.
But if
But
I can get you in
on
something
some,
else.
but I can get you on some lesser shit.
Oh,
and
I
then
mean that's
make-
a tale as old as time.
Yeah, and then make that into a bigger deal than it needs to be, if you will, and treat you, and then judge you and treat you with like by the letter of the law. Whereas like anybody else, I probably would just been like, yeah, whatever, dude, do you? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, so yeah, we have that. There is that ability, but with like the Derek Chauvin thing, like all this stuff, like the cop thing, like whatever, like people are just like they think that like cops should just be like, no, like you should allow the criminal to shoot you at least 3 times first before you retaliate. And you're like, what? And they're like, well, yeah. How do you know he's just not having a bad day?
Yeah,
I don't care.
Those could be happy, like elation.
Yeah,
shots
they're
he's
like
taking.
we used to make we had this joke a long time ago where like the I think it was the Raiders beat the Niners in a Monday Night Football game. Like I'm talking like 15, 20 years ago, mid 2000s, and a couple of Raiders fans stabbed up a Niners fan in the parking lot,
Oh yeah, that's right.
and the Raiders won that game, and everybody's like, "What the fuck were they stabbing the Niners fan for? They won." It was like, "Oh, they were happy stabs."
Yeah.
They were just celebrating, and they were just like, "Yeah, hey, Niners guy, phone check, motherfucker." Like, and like they were. So we had this long running joke that they were happy stabs for years. Like, oh, your team won, happy stabs.
Yeah.
Like, and that was like a thing that we had, and it just, but like people become so disillusioned to reality that they
Disconnected from it.
they lose track of like, hey man, like that guy tried to take my life away. You know what I mean? Like they're like, well, all he had was a knife and you had a gun and that's not a fair fight. It's like, no, that's absolutely a fair fight. Like and not for nothing, but when my life is on the line, I don't want the fight to be fair. I want every advantage I can have.
And
because
also every scenario is different and how people react. Just because you have the gun doesn't mean you're not going to get stabbed. You're more likely to get. It's easier for somebody to close the distance with a knife on somebody
Absolutely.
with a gun if they aren't properly trained, and also the heat
100%.
of the moment. That's why Kyle Rittenhouse is a goddamn hero, and
I mean.
people who still bring him
Did
up and
God's
call him
work.
a murderer are fucking retards. I'll say
He
that
did.
right now.
He was doing God's work. Yeah, the only people he murdered were fucking 2 pedophiles. So who cares?
He shot 3 people. 2 were that, and the other was also like a convicted felon.
Yeah,
And 2 of which, one of which had a gun, but the other 2 tried to get his gun from him. So it's like that's, and it's not Kyle had it, but he wasn't opening fire on people reckless like.
no,
at
he
all.
was literally running away.
Yes,
He was sprinting away.
and he
And they
managed
chased him.
to. Imagine you
man-
fire into a crowd. It's a meme, but you fire into a crowd of rioting liberals, and you hit like 2 pedophiles and a wife beater, or like.
We call that the Kenosha hat trick.
Exactly. God damn it.
I mean, just the jokes write themselves. But You're right, but like no, there's just so many people that are just so like disillusioned with reality,
Mhm.
and I forget what we got off on this topic because of, but the whole I forget where I was going with this now. I had a point to this.
That's all right. It'll come to you.
It will, but we well anyway. We were talking about basically just people justifying violent, like, oh, like you can go lower, I can go low,
Hmm.
and it just gets to the point where like you're like, okay, like yeah, we can keep going low and keep going low, and you're gonna use whatever I said to discredit, you know, when I try to correct you and say like, hey, you shouldn't say that about Charlie Kirk because that makes you a piece of shit, and you're like, well, you wanted Biden to have cancer and this and
Hmm.
that, and I'm like,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
and it cheapens it and it loses its luster because not that that person was ever going to sit there and agree with me anyway, or sit there and
Right.
self-reflect and be like, like I had this argument with one of my buddies, and
Or
he
take
was
that
like,
constructively. Like, just be like, oh, okay. Actually, try to want to understand your viewpoint. No, they
yeah,
immediately dismiss it.
no, they don't give a shit. Like I had this I got into this argument with one of my buddies, and he was like, well, what you said about Biden and what you said about cancer was way worse than anything anybody said about Charlie Kirk. And I was like, no, it wasn't. I
That's
said,
kind of not possible, actually.
I said, yeah, I said, no, I said, you need that to be the case
Hmm.
because you and your ilk are the ones that are tap dancing on the grave of a 31-year-old father or two that just got assassinated on live television for all intents and purposes. I know it wasn't actually TV, but you get what I'm saying.
Hmm.
You're the ones that are celebrating this guy, saying he got what he had coming and taking him out of context and using all this shit. You desperately need me saying what I said about like rooting for cancer in terms of it getting Joe Biden.
Yeah.
You need that to be worse. So you're
Yes.
going to frame it as worse
Hmm. Yeah.
because you're going to sit there and be like, little kids get cancer and you're rooting for cancer. I'm like, no, no, no. I'm rooting for Joe Biden's cancer. I don't root for cancer in any other person on the, 7 billion people on earth. And Joe Biden's the only one I'm rooting for cancer in right now. Like, I'm only rooting for his cancer. It's very exclusive club.
Very
You gotta buy.
exclusive cancer.
Yeah, you gotta pay to get in.
Only
And
bed and butthole cancer.
and I think it goes back to, I think I know where I was going with this, was that the Rob Reiner thing and Trump's tweet about Rob Reiner, where he was basically like kind of like calling out Rob Reiner for being what he is, before his body was probably even cold. Um, which me personally, I fucking loved because you're talking about a man, like I said,
I didn't
who
see anything wrong with it when I read it. I was like,
I didn't
okay.
either. I was like, my wife asked me, she's like, is this real? And I was like, probably. And she's like, I fucking love it. Like, and I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, Rob Reiner, like this is the guy that wished that Trump hadn't turned his head and had his brains blown out all over live television.
Yeah.
So yeah. Listen, if somebody tweets that shit about me, what do you think I'm gonna fucking say about them when their fucking son slits their throat? Like, what do you think I'm gonna have
Fair enough.
some nice hunky dory fucking eulogy for you? Where I was like, he was a good guy. He just said some fucked up shit. No, fuck you, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
See you later.
Again,
See
I'm
you
not
in hell,
saying he was a
fucker.
good guy or I liked him as a person. He made some decent movies.
Yeah,
Again, he was funny in
yeah. Made
All in
some
the
decent
Family.
movies. He had some funny moments. He made a great butt of a joke in the South Park episode,
Yep.
and that was about all I ever needed to know about him. Other than that, I just like him, Keith Olbermann, Michael Moore, Joy Behar, like
Oh
all
God.
these
Whoopi
fucking
Goldberg.
all these unhinged liberal retards. They're all the same to me. I don't care. Like you're all gonna have to you're like, listen, no one's getting out of here alive. So
Exactly.
unfortunately, you're all gonna have to answer to whatever God you pray to, and I hope for your sake it all goes well. But at the end of the day, I also don't fucking care if it doesn't. So suck my dick.
I agree.
I don't
Hear,
expect.
hear.
I fully anticipate if my demise were to become untimely, that there would be people that would not be sad to see me go, and that's fine.
Well, you know what? I'd be there, man, for the service, and I'd have shirts commissioned and do it physically there. Dicks out for Joey Fats.
Dicks out.
Only wear the shirt the one time too, and that's it.
Yeah,
It's retired.
That's it. Can't be, can't be an ongoing thing. We'll have to figure something out. You can, we'll have to figure something out for the feast every year. But other than that,
Hell yeah, brother.
but I think that's probably good there, huh?
Yeah, I think with that all being said, I think I mean
yeah. Well, we'll be back next Monday, so we do have a bunch to get into. I think there's some shit brewing with Venezuela over the next couple of days that we might have a lot to talk about on Monday.
We can finally have South Park stop kind of dominating shit now too.
Yes, until they announce that they're coming out with a new special or something along those lines. But yeah, it's been that should have been 10 weeks. It turned into fucking 6 months.
Because dude, I really do enjoy talking about it, especially with you, because you're as much as a fan as I am.
Yeah.
So people got to get on our wavelength when it comes to a lot of things. But
I agree.
We can okay. Now we can cook a little bit more.
Yeah, now we can get into more of the the topic of the day, fun stuff.
Yeah, not that we couldn't before, but now it's like, all
right.
But
no, South Park was a point of emphasis for you and I when we started this podcast, was that because you and I both have been diehard fans from day one, and we both see it on the same level, and we dissect it the same way, and
it's a part of the show, folks. Yeah,
it's one of our very
staples.
Yeah, it's one of our very cherished topics that we love to talk about, and unfortunately, this season we didn't get to talk about it like I really wanted to, but
Same,
I feel like
at least not in more of a positive light.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like it just fell flat, and it is what it be. So, we'll see what the next special or season brings within the next year or so, and we'll go from there. But yeah, now we can get back to kind of just doing more fun, more other fun stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna riff more.
Yeah.
We might get a couple more actual different segments starting up sometime soon as well. So,
like, is Dave Mustaine pissed off at Metallica today? Of course he is. Let's talk about it.
What do you mean I'm not stealing Metallica?
Dude, did you hear? Oh my God!
The goddamn first album.
Have you heard their latest album?
No.
We got to talk about that next week.
All right, I'll give it a listen.
The like when I say Dave Mustaine might be the worst lyrical writer of all time, like I'm not even kidding, dude. Like,
well, I mean, Yoko Ono.
It might be worse. It might be worse. I don't know.
Although I don't think she actually writes anything. She just.
I'll send you some. I'll send you some. I'll send you some stuff. I found it was one that I found. I don't know if it was TikTok or Instagram, but whatever. I'll send you some links. You can watch them, and it's bad.
Hey, I'm down for some cringe every once in a while. Why not?
Especially when it's at Dave Mustaine's expense.
Yes. Oh, because then that gives me more ammo too. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You're like, Megadeth is better than Metallica. You're like, sure about that?
I've never said that myself.
Like, I'm pretty sure Evanescence wrote better lyrics when they first came out.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like 13-year-old suburban white girl lyrics that were coming out of like a grown man's mouth. Like,
yeah, wake me up inside.
Yeah, oof. Yeesh. Not a good look. But anyway, we can do that. We'll definitely have a good plot for our final show of 2025 next week.
Should be a wrap up, a year-end wrap up of all the bullshit, or at least all the bullshit we end up talking about.
Yeah, we can fudge something together. It'll be good.
Oh, yeah, it'll be a shit show like always, folks.
I'm looking forward to it, though.
That's the adult table guarantee.
Indeed.
Hell yeah. So, hey, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
And, we'll be back next Monday.
Can't wait.
All right, later, bro.
All right, bud. Have a good weekend. Enjoy Christmas.
Yeah, you too, brother.
Will do.